What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of FragPunk, and let me tell you, this game is blowing up. It hit the top 10 on Steam charts right out of the gate, and the reviews are flooding in. The Lancer roster is packed with some seriously cool characters, but here's the thing, some Lancers are totally dominating the meta right now, while others require a bit more effort to shine. So if you're looking to pick up a Lancer and want to know who's top tier and who's still working on their game, you're in the right place. In this video, we're breaking down the Lancers from best to worst, giving you the lowdown on which ones are making waves and which ones you might want to avoid for now. Whether you're a veteran or a newcomer, knowing which Lancers excel in the current meta is key to climbing those ranks. Stick around and let's figure out which Lancers will help you rack up those kills and dominate the battlefield. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking Lancers in FragPunk. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The Lancers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Spider, Sonar, and Axon. Let's talk about some of the Lancers in FragPunk that might make you go, meh, maybe not today. You know the ones, Spider, Sonar, and Axon. They're not exactly the fan favorites in the current meta, but hey, they still have their quirks. Let's dive into why they're C tier and why you might still want to give them a try, or not. First up, we've got Spider. Honestly, this guy sounds like he should be awesome, right? Teleporting all over the place, setting traps, making enemies dizzy with his web. But here's the thing, his abilities just don't pack that punch we're looking for. The teleportation can be fun and fast-paced, but in a world where damage is king, Spider's skills feel a little more like a distraction than a game changer. The traps are cool for slowing enemies and providing intel, but when it comes to making a real impact, Spider just doesn't quite cut it. Then we've got Sonar, the master of detection and slowing enemies down. His echolocation skill is honestly one of the best for positioning and crowd control, as it can detect enemies within a certain range. But here's the catch, while it's great for setting up your team, Sonar's offense is pretty weak. The vision and utility are solid, but his lack of firepower makes him more of a support character than a true damage dealer. If you're looking to get in there and cause chaos, Sonar might leave you wanting more. And now, let's talk about Axon. If you like to play aggressive and push forward, Axon might seem like a fun choice. His electric guitar skill dishes out some nice damage, and his sticky fingers grenade can be a bit tricky to deal with. But here's the rub, Axon doesn't quite stack up against some of the other Lancers who have more versatile or impactful abilities. He needs a bit of mastery to truly shine, but even then, he's a bit of a one-trick pony compared to others. Plus, without solid support or timing, his damage can feel underwhelming. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Spider, Sonar, and Axon might not be the Lancers that will carry your team to victory, but they do offer some unique playstyles. Spider can make the game feel faster with his teleportation, Sonar's detection is super useful for team coordination, and Axon can deliver some nice aggressive pushes with the right strategy. Still, all three could use some extra firepower to be truly competitive in the current meta. If you're just starting out, they're fun to experiment with, but for a serious grind, you'll likely want to look elsewhere for your main pick. In the end, it's all about finding what works for you. Maybe you like the strategic support role that Sonar offers, or the teleportation shenanigans Spider brings to the table. Or perhaps you're all about those big plays with Axon. Just don't expect these Lancers to be your ticket to dominating the competition. They've got their place in the game, but it's definitely in the back seat, letting the stronger Lancers take the wheel. The Lancers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Serket, Pathoyan, and Zephyr. Alright, let's talk about some B tier Lancers in FragPunk. These characters are far from bad, trust me, they've got their moments. But when you stack them up against the S and A tier Lancers, you start to see a few cracks in the armor. Still, if you're into stealth control or just a bit of chaos, these Lancers can do some serious work in the right hands. First up, we've got Serket. Now, Serket is the queen of stealth and control. If you like to mess with your enemies' heads, she's your gal. Her station-to-station ability lets her drop a beacon while staying hidden, which is perfect for setting up ambushes. But that's not all. Goldust Woman creates a blinding dust tornado that will leave your opponents dizzy and confused. And then there's Dilemma, which is like a magnet for enemies. It pulls them all toward a specific point, making them easy targets for a quick takedown. Serket is ideal for players who love playing the Puppet Master, pulling all the strings behind the scenes. Next, let's dive into Pathogen. This one's a bit more on the support side of things. If you're someone who likes helping out your team while keeping a low profile, Pathogen's got your back. With Emotional Rescue, you've got a healing field that can keep your allies in the fight longer. But she's not just about healing. Shroom Wall lets her create a destructible wall, which can block enemies or protect your squad from incoming fire. And then there's Killer Queen, a trap that will activate when an enemy comes too close. While Pathogen is solid for crowd control and team support, she doesn't pack the same punch as some of the more offensive-focused Lancers. Then there's Zephyr, the silent assassin of the B-tier bunch. If you love sneaking around, picking off targets one by one, Zephyr's playstyle will fit you perfectly. Her Midnight Rambler ability grants full and semi-invisibility, letting you move like a ghost through the battlefield. Combine that with Fade Away, which makes her completely invisible in a specific region, and you've got a killer who can easily slip past enemies and deliver deadly strikes. But Zephyr's not just about sneaking. Her Get Back ability teleports her to a beacon, giving her the mobility to strike and then get out in the blink of an eye. While Zephyr is amazing for flanking and stealth attacks, she doesn't quite have the raw power that the top tier Lancers bring to the table. So what's the deal with all of them? Well, B tier characters like Circuit, Pathogen, and Zephyr are solid picks, especially if you've got a specific playstyle in mind. But the thing is, they're not as dominant as the A and S tier Lancers. Circuit and Zephyr can be great for mobility and surprise attacks, but they lack the overall firepower of their higher ranked counterparts. As for Pathogen, she's a great support option, but she's often outshined by other crowd controllers when it comes to solo impact. At the end of the day, these B tier Lancers aren't bad by any means. They just require a little more finesse to make them shine. If you're looking for something more experimental or just like the idea of sneaky plays and crowd control, they're totally worth trying out. Just know that in the fast-paced world of FragPunk, sometimes you'll want to reach for a little more firepower. The Lancers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Jaguar, Chum, Corona, Hollowpoint, and Nitro. Let's talk about some of the best Lancers in FragPunk, shall we? Now, I'm not talking about just any Lancers, but the ones who really stand out in the game for their unique abilities. Whether you're a trap lover, a DNS expert, or a strategic mastermind, these Lancers have something special to offer. First up, let's talk about Jaguar. This guy is your tactical genius. If you're into setting traps and controlling the battlefield from a distance, Jaguar is your guy. With his ability to deploy electrified cages with Electric Avenue and trap enemies with his Livewire ability, he's like the ultimate setup player. And then there's his I Can See for Miles, which gives you a radar-like vision of enemy positions. It's perfect for those who love to plan ahead, giving you that extra edge in strategy. But here's the catch. Jaguar is no speed demon. While you're setting up your traps and watching your enemies squirm, you're moving slower than some other Lancers. But hey, if you're into the slow and steady approach, Jaguar has you covered. Next, let's shift gears and talk about the very versatile, very flashy Corona. This Lancer is all about mixing things up. If you love teleportation and area control, you're going to be all over him. Fast Lane lets you dash around in a blink, and Ashes to Ashes creates a damaging war zone around you. This combo makes Corona one of the best for aggressive players who like to take control of a fight. Plus, his Hothead ability can blind enemies in front of you, which gives you a major edge when you're pushing the enemy lines. It's an offense lover's dream, but the trick is mastering all those moves without getting caught up in your own chaos. On the other hand, we've got Hollowpoint, the queen of skill damage and traps. If you want to be the strategic powerhouse who sets the stage for everything, this Lancer is perfect. Hollowpoint's Matora A railgun is a real game changer, allowing you to sense enemies from afar and eliminate them with pinpoint accuracy. Pair that up with her smoke screen ability that reveals hidden enemies, and you've got a full-on recon monster. And let's not forget about Paparazzi, which lets you set traps that reveal enemies close by. She's definitely a Lancer for players who like to dish out damage while staying one step ahead of their enemies. But remember, positioning and aim are key to making her work. Now, if you're more of a defensive player, Nitro might just be the Lancer for you. This character is built to fortify and protect, with abilities like Chug Chug, which calls in a tactical combat drone, and Wall, which deploys a shield to block incoming damage. Nitro is the defensive backbone of any team. His Mr. Pew ability summons a sentry turret that automatically fires at enemies. If you like to play it safe and let your enemies come to you, Nitro's defensive toolkit is a lifesaver. But even though he's solid on defense, it does take some skill to really get the most out of him. Nitro isn't exactly the flashiest Lancer, but he's all about making sure you stay alive longer. So, who's the best fit for you? Well, it really depends on your playstyle. If you're a tactical mastermind who loves setting up traps, Jaguar's your go-to Lancer. He'll give you that satisfying feeling of watching your trap snap shut on unsuspecting enemies. But be warned, he's slow, so don't expect to be dashing around the map like a maniac. On the flip side, if you're someone who likes to get in and out of situations with ease, Corona's your pick. With his teleportation and area control, he's perfect for aggressive plays. You'll be dashing around, creating chaos and blinding enemies like a true force of nature. But it's not easy, and mastering his abilities takes some serious practice. Hollow Point is perfect for those who want to be a bit more stealthy and strategic. With her ability to reveal enemies and deal high damage with precision, she's ideal for players who like to play smart rather than hard. But don't let her railgun fool you. Timing and positioning are everything if you want to make her shine. And if you're the kind of player who wants to stand your ground and let your enemies come to you, Nitro is the Lancer who can turn any corner into a fortress. His defensive abilities are top-notch, and his auto turrets make sure no one sneaks by. But it's all about playing with your surroundings and understanding when to build up your defenses. You'll need to be a little patient, but the payoff is worth it. At the end of the day, there's no one-size-fits-all in FragPunk. Whether you're setting traps, teleporting around, or building up defenses, each Lancer offers something special. So, who are you going to pick for your next match? The Lancers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Broker and Kismet. Alright, let's talk about the true powerhouse Lancers in FragPunk, those that are straight up taking names in the current meta. First up, we've got Broker, and let me tell you, this guy is a straight up jack of all trades. He can play the stealth game like no other, hiding from enemy sight while laying traps and dropping vision for his opponents. But don't think he's just a sneaky support player. Nope, his rocket launcher is a beast, dealing burst damage that will melt through enemies faster than you can say Goddard's vengeance. And if you need cover, boom, his smokestack lightning gadget throws out a thick cloud that makes him and his squad invisible, giving you that precious breathing room. Then there's Kismet, a Lancer who's basically a walking storm of explosive chaos. If you love getting in your enemy's face and controlling the battlefield, Kismet is your guy. His Hello Goodbye scan reveals enemy positions from across the map, and his Misery Angel ability, well, that's just pure gold, throwing an explosive bomb through walls to catch unsuspecting enemies off guard. And then, of course, we can't forget about his Walk on the Wild Side move, which lets him hide and become completely invincible. Kismet's all about that aggressive, high-impact playstyle, and if you're into setting traps and dropping bombs like it's no big deal, he's your go-to. Now, let's talk about why these two are dominating the S tier. Broker's versatility is unmatched, really. You've got a bit of everything: damage, stealth, utility. He's a perfect entry choice for players who love to switch up their playstyle. Whether you're setting up ambushes, playing mind games with your opponents, or going full offensive with that rocket, Broker keeps things fresh and exciting. No wonder he's so popular in the meta right now. And don't even get me started on Kismet. He's practically the definition of precision. With the right combination of traps, bombs, and sneaky invincibility, Kismet can outplay almost anyone. He's got the burst damage to finish off any fight, and with that dungeon detect and damage bonus, he's a huge threat no matter where you're playing on the map. These two Lancers are absolutely ruling the roost, and if you're looking to step up your game, they're the picks you'll want to grab. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.